Today, as we speak about the custom GPTs that OpenAI has launched with its platform called ChatGPT, not just marketing, but any domain can have this liberty to start thinking on its own, think on free will, and start doing creative, cool things that we could only dream of at some point in time. I always had felt that marketing is something that started off as a creative field. At some point in time, advertising and marketing specifically had started as a creative field at some point in time. But later, I wouldn't say it got eliminated and it got boring. The creative elements were not enough for us to feel that thrill of doing something, in fact, right? But that changed after OpenAI has launched and these interesting bots and chatbots have come up, where I feel that we are going ahead, we are going towards the creative direction where we started off being creative, then it became overwhelmed with technology and only tech things happened, and there was only marketing tech stack and all these tools that came in. Very soon, with all this power that you have in hand and with tools like ChatGPT, you can get creative once again. So I definitely see a sine curve in what is happening in the marketing world today. So I will not waste much of your time. What I wanted to show you was how you can do cool things as a marketer by customizing your GPTs to do things that you had to either resort to another platform earlier or you had to do it yourself. There was always this missing piece in streamlining things to almost perfection. So I will not beat around the bush. Let's just quickly jump onto the screen and let's start looking at what I call as bringing your automation capabilities to your ChatGPT, right? So let's go ahead and look at what I mean. So let's go to ChatGPT first. All right. So on your screen, you will see you will go ahead and go to Explore tab where you will see all your GPTs. I'm going to go ahead and create a GPT here. So you need to configure a GPT for your own purpose. Let's say I want an automatic action to be performed, which is send out a thank you email to all the people who have purchased my product, right? Let's call it thank you email GPT, right? And then you're going to say this is a GPT that sends thank you email to all my customers who recently made a purchase on my site, right? There are certain instructions which I will come back to this later, and conversation starters could be how you want the GPT to interact. Okay, you will say, okay, what product did your consumer buy today? Right, and then you can say, what do you want to thank your users for, right? These are just conversation starters. If you have any documentation, if you have any text, if you have any content that you would want your GPT to go through, you can go ahead and upload them as files. But I'm not just doing it now. I'm just going to say integrate code interpreter. So do you see how these GPTs are enabled to go ahead and browse on the web? When I say browsing, it is not Google. It is going to be browsing bing.com. Then it has also the image generation capabilities. You also have code interpreter capabilities, right? So you need to add actions before we proceed. So there are instructions and actions that we need to be executing, right? So before we do that, I have to share with you a screen, a document that Zapier has released. Let me show you the document. So this is the document that Zapier has released, which is called as AI Actions. This is a step-by-step process that you can go ahead and use for integrating your instructions and actions, specifically Zapier actions, right? So what you need to do is as the first step, you need to include this URL, come back to your MyGPT. Okay, come back to your MyGPT, and then you're going to say add actions. When you do that, and you're just going to say import from URL, you're just going to copy paste the URL and then import it. Forget about what gets imported. What is this going to do? This is just a piece of code that is required for actions on Zapier to be brought into ChatGPT's GPT functionality, right? Now you will see that there are certain functions that are actions that are that are available here. So ignore this for the time being. You just need to go back and then you need to configure the instructions, right? Now, in the same document, you will also see certain instructions that I have gone ahead and highlighted in the description. So copy those instructions and come back here. This is just an instruction for another tool, but we will go ahead and customize it according to our own requirements. So under required actions, you're just going to remove all of these and you need to set up new actions. You can set up new actions in Zapier using another URL, which I will be sharing as I promised. So you need to go ahead. Okay, you will go to actions.zapier.com/GPT/actions. I'm just going to share it in your screen. It will, in the description, it will ask you to authenticate the action that you would want to execute. So when you do that, you just need to go ahead and add a new action. When you do that, now what are we doing? We are going ahead and asking ChatGPT to send a thank you email, right? So I'm just going to call this as, let's call Gmail. And the requirement is to send an email, right? And what email, it asks me to register my Gmail ID. I have linked it with Zapier. To who do you want to send it to? You can actually, if you have dynamic data, you can say have AI guess a value for this field. But to keep it simple, I'm just going to say set a specific value. I am just going to send it to my own email ID just for understanding. I'm just going to say kc@marketingthinktank.co. Okay, subject, let AI choose this. So show all the options. You can leave everything as it is. You just need to change the name of the action. I'm just going to say thank you email, right? That is the name of my action. You will copy paste this. Okay. And you also need to know that there is something called as action ID, which you will see in your URL here. So the gibberish text that you see here or anything that you see after action / this becomes your, this becomes your action ID and this becomes your action name, right? So I'm just going to copy the action name. I'm just going to go back to my GPT. I'm just going to copy this under action : I'm just going to copy the name. And there is the action ID, right? The field that you're supposed to use it for action ID is you're just going to say available _action _ID. You just put a : and then you just copy paste the gibberish text that I spoke to you about. Okay, you just copy paste the gibberish text here and that's about it. So you have your instructions ready, right? You have also done your actions part here. And then you just need to save your workflow. Okay, you just need to check everything is fine. And then you're just going to say, right, just check your, okay, I'm just going to say thank you email send. Right, I'm just going to copy paste this. I'm just going to say enable action. When you do that, you will see that it is turned into green here. So now thank you email send is turned on in green. And you will come back to your GPT screen again. Okay, you will come back to your GPT screen again. You will change the name to what it was, which is thank you email send. And then you are going to save it. Only me, I'm just going to confirm it. Right, that's about it. So now your GPT is created. You will start testing it. But before that, let's go back to Explore. Thank you, email GPT. Right, you just need to edit that. Okay, just to see if there is, I think all the things are right. Okay, you just need to change the instructions here and you're just going to, this is very, very important, guys. You're supposed to name this GPT because it gets confusing otherwise. Because all the other GPTs, if they have the same description, then ChatGPT will not understand what this is about, right? So this is a GPT to send thank you emails to my consumers who bought something on my site, right? So you're just going to save it. All right. So now let's go. If you want to test this, you can just copy paste this, copy this come back to create, and then try pasting it here and see what happens, right? Now it is going to evaluate all the steps that you have done. It is updating the GPT, which means it is the functionality of what this is supposed to be supposed to do gets updated. And if there is anything wrong, if it doesn't understand anything, it will let you know. Or if the integration with Zapier is wrong, it will let you know whatever it is going through. The GPT's behavior has been updated. It perfectly tailored to send thank you emails to customers who made recent purchases on your website. Just let me know when you're ready to proceed with this task or if you have any specific instructions, right? So you can just say, I am ready to proceed, but I have a few instructions that I need, right? So let's try adding, great, we have the action, please provide with the details for the email, right? So what is the body of the email? What CC recipients are needed? Okay. I'm just going to say, okay, just ignore it. Let's proceed, right? I'm just trying to tell you that if you want to change something, you can go ahead and change it. Let's send the thank you email now. We're just testing it, guys. It is interacting with Zapier. Okay, it'll ask for the, okay. Thank you for your purchase. Thank you for your purchase. We appreciate your business and are committed to da. So anything else that you would like to do next? That's about it, right? So let's see if the email has gone out. Let's go back. Let's go to my Gmail because I tried sending it to myself just to be sure if it's gone out. Let's log into my email ID. There you go. Right? So this is one of the craziest things that I've seen today where your email actually gets sent from ChatGPT without you even typing the body of the email, without you choosing the subject. You just gave the context of what it has to do, and then it went out and sent out a thank you email for the purchase, right? You can go ahead and customize it. You can do a lot of things, but that is how it works, right? So this is where you could go ahead and enable ChatGPT to perform an action for you by not giving any inputs at all, right? I just set up an action on Zapier. I just send thank you email. It asks me what do you need to send it about, and then this automatically goes out, by the way, right? So every time I go ahead and execute this bot, and in fact I can go ahead and set up integrations on these bots itself by integrating Zapier and ChatGPT actions. This is going to be a real game changer when we speak about automations and AI-based automation. So I think we are going to see a completely different blend of creativity and automation coming together while ChatGPT will act as a layer in enhancing the capabilities of today's marketer. Thank you so much. My name is Casey and you are watching Marketing Think Tank. Ciao.